I've had a think around what I see as the challenges that we have as insurance brokers, and really you can take from this much of today being what the solutions will be. You'll notice I've purposely avoided COVID-19 and Brexit, which I think have probably been said an awful lot and are fairly obvious other challenges. But from the perspective of a broker, when they're considering what to do around digital transformation, what are the challenges they have? Well, we have legacy technology. There are still plenty of insurers using green screen technology. And I think up to now, in order to move that forward, you were either relying on software houses that still had a lot of legacy, or you had enormous cost. And I think that's something now that's coming down. We're seeing quite poor service from insurers who are struggling with some of that technology. And I think that means that companies that want to give customer service need to take up some of the mantle themselves. There is an enormous pool of untapped data. Brokers and insurers hold vast amounts of information about their clients that mostly at the moment sits in computers and isn't used. And actually, the data that sits there is an absolute goldmine for companies that work out how to tap it in the right way. We have changing buyers who are becoming digitally savvy, and in fact their expectations are changing significantly. We have a very reactive service at the moment. I read recently that over 50% of all insurance buyers only speak to their insurer or broker once a year, which is at renewal. There's a big question mark over whether products are fit for purpose. We're moving into a modern world where you don't necessarily have ownership of the property. You have the gig economy, and actually policies at the moment are really struggling to deal with that. And actually, we have a regulator, the FCA, and for insurers, the PRA, who are showing that they're going to be very, very proactive in dealing with brokers and insurers and MGAs moving forward. And they don't have a lot of time for excuses around poor technology and poor data retention, or indeed blaming service providers. They have very high expectations, and since COVID, the FCA has written to all brokers, MDs twice, telling them about expectations, which goes to show how proactive they're going to be. Next slide, please. So I think something that I hear all too often, both in my business and in insurance generally, is really an apathy to change, or we ban it, but you hear a lot around we've always done it like that. And I think that's a really, really challenging. The rest of the slides I've done are going to show why I don't think that's the case, that clients do just want to continue as things are. But there's a real challenge within the insurance industry at the moment to make people realise what's happening, and that actually the client doesn't just want things to carry on as they are. Next slide. Giving an example of that, so Hayes Parsons, as Tamara says, an independent insurance broker, and we're just beginning to investigate both digital transformation and, as part of that, selling online, which all forms, I guess, a part of digital. We have a product that we sell normally, traditionally by phone and by filling out a form in paper. And over the last 6 months, we've done a lot of work around launching a digital proposition, which will be, or is, a fully serviced online proposition. The client can do absolutely everything without any conversation with us as a broker or the insurer at all. And we spent many weeks and months trying to work out whether the clients would actually want that. They are the scheme in specifically is quite unsophisticated in terms of the buying habits, and they seem to like being on the phone and filling out paper forms. And we were concerned that this would be a lot of investment for us that could well not get us a lot of return. What's really interesting and has shocked us is, admittedly with COVID as well in the background, but we launched the product online full cycle in June, and by the end of October, getting on for 2/3 of all of our clients some of which will have been with us for 10 years plus, used to doing it a certain way, are actually buying online. Another interesting stat that's not on here is a third of those buyers are actually buying out of hours, so they're not buying 9 to 5 anymore. Now, a small broker in Bristol has been able to put together this product because costs are coming down, and it's really interesting. I think that just shows what the clients want. We've been pretty surprised by that. Interestingly, in the background, that sits on Microsoft Azure, and we use Power BI to look at the data analytics. So it's been really interesting so far.